What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas expands on the changes that Andy Ruiz needs to make to improve. Of course, we know Andy Ruiz wanted or was interested in Teddy Atlas training him, and Teddy Atlas has already gave his statement a couple months ago. However, he has added ways for Andy Ruiz to improve. In other words, I feel that this is what he would require him to do if he was training him. So I guess this is giving him a little blueprint. So let me tell you about it. He says Atlas feels Ruiz needs to get out of the comfort zone that he has established for himself in Southern California. He says it's almost like dealing with a drug abuser. You know, he's got a problem with eating. And if you had a kid that you were really trying to save from drugs, what would you do? Said Teddy Atlas. He says, you don't have to be a drug counselor to understand that you'd remove him from the things that are comfortable for him. Okay? You have to remove him from his surroundings. Oh, you don't want him with his family? Oh, you want to be a dictator? You want to call it that? Go ahead. You have to do what's going to be able to change things, said Teddy Atlas. Okay. Hey, I absolutely agree. I think that his father, Manny Robles, the people around him, allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. And then since he has done something that he's never done, people allowed him to do it. What did he do that he never done? He beat Anthony Joshua, a guy that's never been beaten. Okay? He did that. He accomplished that. He got all those belts. He sucked them up in one night by challenging on the mighty Goliath. Right? And what did he do after that, though? He was received all this praise, all this this comfort room, all this leeway. And he had all these new perks, and it was a recipe for his demotivation. Okay, his downcline, his number one ranked name on the redemption list that I've created. That's what he's accomplished by doing what he was doing. And Teddy Atlas is absolutely right. He has an eating disorder. He isn't the only one that said that. Andy Ruiz, he has nothing to do with his physical ability. The amazing thing is that he's able to still perform in a certain type of way with the type of disadvantages he has with his addiction. You know, he still has fast hands. Now imagine if he didn't. Imagine if Andy Ruiz was 220 pounds. Imagine if he was 60 pounds south. Now, Teddy Atlas is a guy that's pulling no punches. He never has. I've never seen Teddy Atlas say that. He has another article. He's I don't want this to sound wrong. No, I use this particular article because he said it the way he said it. But he still said it. He's like a drug addict. He has a problem. He's an eater. And what was the first thing that Andy Ruiz did after the second rematch, after the second fight with Anthony Joshua? He said, I just ate everything inside. Right? Didn't he say that? That was his first thing, his first words that blabbered out of his mouth. I ate everything in sight. I came in at 283 pounds. Wow. So if he came in at 283, this man was probably close to 300 pounds. Because you know you're not the scale. I don't even know if he pulled any punches. He probably didn't. You know, but you know he had to eat after that. I don't know if he probably ate before he got on the scale. I don't know. There's no telling. You know, only the people around him or himself can tell you if he did. However, the man was 17 pounds for being 300 pounds. Being 6 foot tall. He ain't 6'2". I'm 6'2". Canelo didn't even have to look up at him, and Canelo's all of 5'9". Or 5'8", rather. Okay? So that's not that you have nowhere to go but side to side. Okay? And it's one of those things where if you're looking at a trainer, And then you look back at Manny Robles. There's nothing wrong with Manny Robles. I just know the training style of Manny Robles is not suitable for Andy Ruiz. Even though he has taught him and showed him things that he could do while he was motivated. But that's a self-motivating thing, but only the self-motivation comes from within. If it's not within, where is it? It's nowhere. And when he beat Anthony Joshua, that's exactly where it went. Right out of his perimeter. Okay? His desire went right out the window. He didn't want any of that no more. He got it. Now it's time to eat. Let me go back to my first love, my addiction, the thing that I think about doing probably the most. The same thing. The first thing he said was, I ate up everything. That's his first love right there. Okay, he didn't say I trained. He had everybody thinking that. He had everybody believing that I'm training. I'm going to be smaller, faster, more deadly, more dangerous, more elusive, more this, more that. He had everybody thinking that. But it was absolutely the obvious opposite. When he stepped on that scale, and it's 283 point, I can't even remember. Right? 283 point, damn near 300 pounds. That's what that was. Okay? And Andy Ruiz, with a guy like Manny Robles, I get Manny Robles. I don't bash Manny Robles, but I understand. His style of training is, I'm not his daddy. I'm not trying to be his daddy. I'm his trainer. He gonna pay me regardless, but I'm not gonna hound him. Right? He's a grown man. I'm not gonna do that. If he comes, he comes. If he don't, hey, it's not my fault. But guess what? He was blamed, nonetheless. Right? Even though Andy Ruiz apologized to Manny Robles and his daddy. Right? None of those guys can make him do that. But here's the thing. Maybe Andy Ruiz expected someone to make him, to be aggressive with him, to force him to train, to be hungry, to be desired enough to fight again. I guess that's what he thought he wanted people to make him do, or their job was. That's probably why he wants Teddy Atlas, but Teddy Atlas is not pulling any punches. And if he knows, here's my thing, if Andy Ruiz goes from hearing this, and he still goes with Teddy Atlas, there might be a slight chance that he saves his career, or he at least wants to save it. There's a desire for him to want to do something else in the sport of boxing besides Duck Dillian White and Luis Ortiz. Okay? All right? And once beat Anthony Joshua. I hope he wants to do that, because according to this article, Teddy Atlas wants this guy to make some massive changes. And I'm not even sure that he's willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? But Teddy Atlas will make sure if he is or isn't willing to do that. That's why he wants him to come to New York. Bring him out of that comfort zone. Get him out of Southern California, that small town where you can get everything that you're accustomed to feeding your addiction with, which is food. There's a lot of people with eating disorders, man. That ain't just fat people. It's people that can, just start eating and can't stop. A lot of people get on things, substances like that. Okay? I'm not bashing Andy Ruiz, but it is obvious that he does have a problem. Why do you think people take other people to facilities? Because they want you away from the environment you were in. Teddy Atlas was absolutely right. But if he goes up there messing with Teddy's going to counterpunch that real quick. He's going to troubleshoot to see where this guy's at. He's going to give him a trial run. And he's going to see what this guy is really made out of. Can he kick that addiction? Is his fighting career worth more than that addiction of eating food? That's what Teddy Atlas is going to find out, and that's what he's talking about in this article. Okay? And he ain't going to let off of Andy Ruiz, because Teddy Atlas is a guy that's passionate about boxing. He's an old school throwback fighter. He will take you away from that and seal you off to see if you got the heart and to show what it takes. Okay? To be this guy you claim you are. Let's see Andy Ruiz minus the addiction. That's what Teddy Atlas is talking about. But we only know if that will happen or not. But it's up to Andy Ruiz. He did mention it, but again, we've heard him do this. Right? We've heard him do that. But let's see if he can Walk. Okay? Instead of talk. Because a lot of people do a lot of talking, but hey, if you can walk and talk, okay, you're doing something. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Teddy Atlas saying that Andy Ruiz is almost like dealing with a drug abuser. Of course, leave your comments below. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.